T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, hi guys, back again with another show. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel, like and subscribe to the channel, and also hit me up in the comment section. Okay. So, people, thanks for joining me today for this another show where we're gonna go through some like the non-activities of the transfers and basically the standard of our coaching staff and sporting director, scout, and head coach. We're going to go through all that. Okay, so I have got my two learner friends in the background waiting to come in. Okay, two of these guys I hugely respect when it comes to football. I hugely respect these guys. Okay, and it's the man like Brian, which hasn't been around for quite a long time, and Ciaran. So I'm going to bring them in right now. Hey, how you doing?
Yes, very well, Rodz.
Yeah, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm very good. As I was just saying, I haven't spoke to you for quite a while. It seems like you're doing well. Do you know what I mean? You got the slogan there, the Irishman. I like it.
Yeah, we had to have a bit of a rebrand there a while ago. You know what I mean? Got to keep it fresh.
And obviously, my friend Ciaran, that we've done stuff together for a long time. You know what I mean? A very long time. He's been rocking me for a minute. Do you know what I mean? How are you doing, Ciaran?
Not too bad, mate. Yeah, looking forward to this show because, listen, last time we spoke, mate, it was bad, but I think it's gotten worse.
Okay, yeah. I tend to agree with you on that. I really tend to agree with you. So yeah, listen, let's just kick off straight away. You know what I mean? Because as I said, I want to get you guys' views on this situation. So let's not beat around the bush, as it were. Excuse me. Um, Listen. Right. I'm going to start off with Richard Hughes. Okay. Now, Richard Hughes, I do not think he's at the standard to me to be a sporting director for Liverpool. Maybe if he was with Aston Villa at a push, Brighton, teams like that, then I can understand. Even West Ham, I can understand. But to Liverpool, I do not think he's the standard. I just, if you ask my opinion, my honest opinion, I think he's championship standard to me. That's me. Do you know what I mean? So listen, Brian, as I say, as he hasn't been on the show for quite a while, what's your take on Richard Hughes, the standard of Richard Hughes?
I suppose the jury's out, Rodz. The guy for me, I'm from back in the day when you knew who the players were and you knew who the manager was, and that was about it. All these people in the background, they just kind of went along and did their job, and you didn't really know anything about it unless maybe some guy left. So, for me, I don't really know how to rate him on what he's done. I suppose they've got to come up from somewhere. We're not going to get some guy in. I don't know, not really our style to go out and buy big or bring in big name appointments that everybody would know. So yeah, I suppose it's the jury's out. Like he's because I suppose something like you're going to get onto, I can really only judge like his job, as far as I can see, is to bring players in and to also, I suppose, sell players that we don't need and get the best prices for them, or get them sort of out the door as quickly as possible if they want to leave, and get that kind of stuff done. And all you can really say is, well, I mean, the table is bare at the moment. There's no evidence there. We haven't brought a single player through the door, so it's sort of like, how can I judge, saying like, oh, what's that chef like? Well, there's no food here yet, there's nothing. Like, we've been left sitting here, there's a month to go, and there's no new faces. So if he'd brought in 5 guys and said, oh, look at the crap he's after bringing in, or look at all these deadly players he's after bringing in, but what can I judge the guy on? It's really hard at the moment, Rod.
Yeah, I get you. Ciaran, over to you. What's your thoughts on Richard Hughes?
Well, if you look at what's happened so far, right, there's 3 contracts still on the table as well. Not only do we have a lack of signings, but Van Dijk last year of his contract, Mo Salah last year of his contract, Trent Alexander-Arnold last year of his contract. There's been no even indication of an offer of a contract. The only contract offer that we know about is Adrian, and he rejected it. So it's not a very good look, is it? Like, are you trying to tell me the only contract we put on the table is for him, Adrian, a third choice goalkeeper? like don't even get me started, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, listen, my Irish brother here has said that he thinks that there's nothing to judge him on. I think there's plenty to judge him on, and if the transfer window was to end right now, I would demand these guys to leave the club.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, at the day, sort of like, you know what is, yeah, to get refused by Adrian. Imagine that. Let's sing it. We got refused by Adrian. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it don't sit well with me. It don't sit well with me at all, getting refused by him. And like, you got Trent now saying that he's gonna see how this year goes before he makes a decision whether to sign a contract or not. Do you know what I mean? How is it that we always get to this place at the day is we let these guys run down their contract? Do you know what I mean? Run it down. How do we get to that? Do you know what I mean? It just it doesn't make sense to me how we get these people to run down their contract.
Well, Rodz, 12 of our last 12 players that left our club, eight of them have left on a free.
Yeah.
So explain to me how and why FSG is categorized as great businessmen, because to me that's very poor business, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very poor.
That's very poor. I mean, for a club like Liverpool, you should be doing better. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, all right, Joe Matip, and he might be going to Leverkusen.
Yep.
He might be going to Leverkusen. So to me, at the day, that shows at the day that, like, he could have still done something for the team. Do you know what I mean? And he'll probably go there on a free. The only one out of there that sort of like obviously has left lately on a free is Thiago, but he's retired. Do you know what I mean? So you can take sort of like Consolidates out of that. Do you know what I mean? But like talking about Trent Alexander, talking about him, I think he wants to go to Madrid. Do you think so, Brian?
Well, I think if Ciaran is what Ciaran is saying, you can judge him, I suppose, on inaction. And yeah, also the contracts were something I didn't bring up. I kind of ignored that just to not talk about things forever. But yeah, the Trent thing, how we have ended up. Some guys you can see if Salah don't want to stick around, and he's got his eye on a future thing, then there's no point even trying to sit down with this guy, maybe. But the Virgil one should have been, 2 years really is the most you want, or is the least you want someone with a contract. By the time they've got 2 years left, you're sitting down and you're talking with him. So the Hughes one, Hughes is only in the door, so I can't really blame him for Trent's contract not being sorted. That was down to the guys who've been here the last 3 years. They should have been sitting down with him. But yeah, Hughes, I think that was number one on the in tray. I thought even before he got transfers done was to lock down Trent and lock down Van Dijk, to stop all this shite talk that we're having to listen now every single day. Trent to Madrid, Trent to Madrid, Trent to Madrid. Because as soon as all that starts, you can't put it back in the bottle. So that should have been just locked down with a statement contract, 5 years, 250 grand a week, blah, 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 whatever it is. That's Trent. No need for any transfer nonsense. But that's happening now. And that is a big, big drop of the ball, that one. Van Dijk, maybe the age thing, maybe he's looking for more money or a longer deal. Maybe he'll sign it eventually. I don't know. But they should have been locked down without a doubt. It's pretty much like you're talking about bad business. Having Trent been potentially able to walk away for a free in 12 months is very, very bad business. And I think, a lot of people sometimes they think they're in players' heads. They think they know what players are thinking. We don't know what any player is thinking. For all we know, Trent could be looking at going, well, I've won everything at Liverpool. I mean, I get one career. Like, who's to say he doesn't want to go off and play for Barcelona, play for Real Madrid, be a superstar somewhere else for a part of it? Who knows? I've never heard him come out and say he never wants to leave Liverpool. So you're right, Rod. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got one eye on it, thinking, well, Jude's over there, and all of this, a lot of money there, Champions Leagues. If we don't get him tied down, we dropped the ball massively. And if we lose him on a free, God help them. If we do, God help them. That's all I can say. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the office that day. I would not want to be in the office that day.
Yeah, there'll be a revolution. If we lose him for free, there will be a revolution. You know what I mean? And I think at the day, like with the Trent situation, right? This is make or break for FSG. I'm telling you, this is make or break for them. If they lose him on a free, it's going to be uproar. There ain't nothing they can do at the day, right? That will sort of like, that will remedy the situation. They're already skating on thin ground as it is. You know what I mean? What, to lose a star like that for free to Real Madrid? Nah. Do you know what I mean, Ciaran?
Well, I heard talk the other day, of Liverpool fans, and what they said was, it made me laugh, right? And I'll explain why. They said, if Trent's on the last year, right, we can offer him to Real Madrid and cash for fucking what's the guy, Rodrigo, the winger. Real Madrid never going to do that. Why would they do that? I mean, that they'll laugh at that. They'll say, well, no, we'll just wait and just get Trent on free. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and people talk about Scouser in the team. Let me tell you something. It wasn't too long ago Steve McManaman went to Real Madrid. Let's not forget that. Do you know what I mean? So this whole Scouser stuff, not everyone's Stevie G. I think people need to remember that.
No. That is big.
If you're good enough, you're Scouse enough. That's the way I look at it. It doesn't. I think it's irrelevant as well, man. It's great if they are, but you don't have to have one. It's yeah, it doesn't. Sometimes we don't really, we kind of overblow that. Like, oh, they'll never leave. They love the club, and then, oh, hang on a minute, he's gone to Madrid. It's like
Yeah,
Ciaran
yeah,
saying, like, and McManaman, he walked on a free. I think when he like the first player we ever lost on a free transfer,
yeah. He went on a Bosman,
because
didn't he? He went on a
that
boss.
was a new enough thing back then, and like we
Yeah,
weren't used to losing a big player, let alone like him just leaving for nothing. And off he went. Everyone hates Owen for going to Madrid, but like Maka did it first, and we didn't even get a penny for him. So yeah, it's scary thought. Like,
no, it's a scary thought because the fact it was at the day, the difference was with um, Owen and Maka is that Owen at the day he got sold to Real Madrid, and we put it this way, they sold us the idea that like we was gonna get sort of like Etu, and then it became like Fernando Morientes, and we did
uh-huh.
get him. We did get him in there, but he didn't really do much. Personally, this is my personal opinion. I didn't think that Fernando Morientes got a chance. Because remember, at the day, he's literally there for like one season. The next season,
Yeah.
he was gone. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's what it was with Rafa Benitez back in them times. He's like a kid in a sweet shop. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Kid in a toy shop, always wanting the newest toys. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, but I don't think it, base it and day, so we give him a chance. But with McManaman, what McManaman said at that time was that he said he was going to sign a contract. He was going to sign a contract. However, the following season, he went on a free. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
He kind of like, it was a bit dodgy in the way he done it. Do you know what I mean? But it's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, not the fact that the day they're scouts, they're going to stay there. Listen, if there's an opportunity somewhere else, like Real Madrid, gonna go because him and Jude Bellingham, right? They're like brothers. You know that. They're like brothers. Do you know what I mean? Even before when Jude Bellingham was supposed to come to like Liverpool, do you know what I mean? And everybody was calling calling Trent Agent Trent, wasn't it? Agent Trent. You know what I mean? Because it was always together and that, and he's like telling him to, come to Liverpool. But again, FSG dropped the ball on that one. He goes to Real Madrid. Now, what's happening now is that Jude Bellingham is telling Trent the same thing as what Trent was telling him. He's telling him, come over here. Come over here. You know what I mean? You can win championships. You know what I mean? You can win La Liga. You can win, like Champions League and all sorts. He's going to be playing with world-class players and such. You know what I mean? And then Trent...
Mbappe.
Yeah, that's what I said. But Trent is probably looking at the structure of Liverpool at the moment and thinking that they, you know what? I don't really fancy this, I don't really fancy this. I don't know where this structure is going. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I think he can go. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
honestly think at the day that he can go. Do you know what I mean? Because if he doesn't sign a contract, before the season starts, well, he's gone. Do you know what I mean?
They've got to make the play, make the big play, offer him a big deal, make sure everyone knows he's been offered a big deal. So if he's not saying it's because he turned it down, But yeah, you can't let him walk. It can't be done.
No. I mean, they this way. Remember Gini Wijnaldum? They let him go on a free, and they still haven't replaced him. Let me hit up some of these comments before I come back. Let me hit up some of these comments quick before the build up. We got Ravi in the building. He says, "Big up the crew."
Hey, Ravi.
Okay.
Big up.
He's got a question here, but I'm gonna read it out. We'll tackle that in a minute. He says, "None of us want Liverpool to fail. All we want is Liverpool to do this effectively with certainly emerging." See, true. The next one, I said also you have asks, does VVD and Trent want to play under slot? What do you think, Ciaran? Do you think that VVD and Trent want to play under slot?
I mean, personally, I don't really know, but also I don't think it really matters because whether you've slot Pep Guardiola, Klopp, listen, if the ambition isn't there from the top, these guys, as I said before, are working with one hand behind their back. And FSG fans might not like that, but that's true because the evidence would suggest that. Because Jurgen Klopp's our best manager, right? In the last how many years? He's got one Premier League to show for it. I'm not turning my nose up at one Premier League because obviously it's not an easy to win. I fully get that, but come on now. Do you know what I mean? Could be done just a wee bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be honest, I don't know if that's actually. Yes, I would say they probably do all work on them, but to what cost?
But also as well, as saying that with Klopp, because I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you to a certain extent. But do you think at the end of the day he could have done more better if he got backed?
100%. That's the point. That's the point I'm trying to say. Yeah, I do, mate. Because, like, mate, I said it the other day, right? I'll say it again. These owners, right, spend money, and there's evidence to suggest this. The owners will spend money when we drop out of the top four. When we're in the top four and we're comfortable, money doesn't get spent like that. And you can go back to Rodgers to look at that one, because every time we fell out of the top four under Rodgers, we were signing Firmino, Benteke, da. It might have been the best players, fair enough. Firmino was but the rest of them, but the cash was there. And then the season before last, right, whenever we almost won the quad, albeit we won 2 trophies, well done. We got Nunes in to replace Mane, and that was it. Carvalho on remember we signed Artur Melo on a loan on the deadline day?
God. Don't remind me.
No, hey, there's more, right? The season we were the defending champions, right? We had no defenders left. We signed Kabak and Ben Davies on loan, and Ben Davies didn't kick a ball. Kabak got rinsed and played 3 games or whatever it was. So that shows you, mate, the ambition to go for titles and that it isn't there. Top 4, yes, because we know why that is, because money talks. But see, whenever the UCL money is almost guaranteed, these guys sit on their hands every time. Forget Klopp, go back to Rodgers, and the evidence is there.
Yeah. Because I remember. Do you remember when I think we fell out of the top 4? And last game of the season we got beaten by Stoke 6-1. This is under Rodgers. Yeah. The following season, instead of getting rid of Rodgers, what they did, they got rid of Rodgers' backroom staff, didn't they? Colin Pascal, all them sort of people. They got rid of them and gave him new backroom staff. They even gave him a number 2, and the number 2 that he had was England's under 16s, something like under 16s coach. You know what I mean? So he was Rodgers' number 2. He further got another 80 million to spend in the transfer window, and then obviously it still didn't go right because by October he was out of a job. Do you know what I mean? You know. But it's true what you're saying.
It's because the top 4 though, Rodgers. It's not because we weren't winning titles. It's because he wasn't getting top 4. If Rodgers got top 4 every season, he'd probably still be here.
Yeah. You know, I agree with that 100%. I agree with 100%. You tell me when sort of they fall out the top 4, that they starts flapping because there's not as much money coming through. We've seen it, and then the season right. That we won the Champions League, that would have been sort of a prime chance. Prime chance for them to sort of strengthen in a position of power. Yeah. The following season, when we won the league, do you know what I mean? We won the league in the quickest time, quickest time ever. No other team has won this league quicker than we won it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Usain Bolt league, that was, man.
It was, wasn't it? It was when it was.
Boom, we were out of the traps, and before anyone knew what was happening, we were just 12 points ahead. It was like, what the hell? Yeah. Everyone says, COVID. We'd won the league before COVID even happened.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was the uproar, right? Because what it was, people was saying today, the COVID, he goes, "Oh, we should just scrap the league." Excuse me, we should scrap the league. And the Liverpool supporters are going, "Nah," because we knew at the day we already won the league. We already won the league. You know what I mean? You know. So then at the day they didn't strengthen. They didn't strengthen. It's only like, you know, like when we literally fall out that they want to strengthen, because at the end of the day, when we're in the top four or challenging and stuff in Champions League and so forth, it's guaranteed money for them. It's guaranteed money, and all they're bothered about is money. Simple as it is. It's just money. It's just money for them. That's why at the end of the day, what they've done, right? I was thinking about this the other day. What they've done is this: they've got Michael Edwards back to do that multi-club business, the multi-club, you know what I mean, ownership. Yeah, they've got him back to do that, and all they've done at the day to Michael Edwards, listen, you're in charge, and they appoint whoever you want to appoint. Do you know what I mean? Right? Because like that is not your main thing. We want you to concentrate on, i.e. Liverpool. We want you to concentrate on this multi-club thing. Do you know what I mean? This is where we see us making money. Do you understand what I'm saying? However, if we don't do this well this season and we drop out the top four, yeah, then probably next season they'll probably spend heaps of money, but that'll be too late then, because you know what's
Well, that's why we spent last summer, and that's why we got the players we did, because we finished 5th.
But the thing is about it, what's going to happen at the day, it's going to be too late doing it next season, because what it is, you're going to have situations at the day where teams at the day are strengthening at the day because they sort of like want to literally want to sort of like stay in the top four, right? So what's going to happen is that they're going to lock off that top four. That top four thing is going to be locked off. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it's going to be harder for us to get in. You know what I mean? I don't know what you guys' thoughts on it, but I think it's going to be harder for us to get in.
Ciaran is like, I don't get accused. I don't go too heavy on anything, so I don't get accused of anything. But some people would assume I was pro FSG or FSG in or whatever. But basically, I've always just been of the mind that show me the next guys. They are who they are. I know what FSG are. Show me the next guys, and then I'll make a decision. Because if it's just about let's sell, because there are owners out there that can tank your club in a heartbeat if you get it wrong. We have numerous examples. Now, I know it's unlikely to happen at Liverpool. There's some really, really bad owners out there. Look what's happening at Chelsea. Look what's happening at Everton. You know, so I've always been of a mind that, yes, we could have better owners than FSG, but we could have way, way worse ones as well. So I'm completely on board with what Ciaran has said. Their mindset, their ambition level is set to achieve what he was talking about us achieving. Always being in the Champions League, maintaining that level of performance. If you get a title, you know, you'll try and be clever and use, you know, all the clever ways of doing things to try and get ahead of the likes of City. And if something happens, then it happens. But yeah, they're not there. They're not there to put in that extra 100 million to 120 million maybe every 2 seasons to take you over the line. Right, 100% I agree with that. That's really isn't their mindset to go out and dominate and to win. No, hey, look, they're up against some serious opposition with City, obviously. But we probably would have had more titles if they were playing clean. But that's a story for another day. But I totally agree that City or that the FSG. We see, the thing is, they said this when they came in. This is something I always say. They told us this when they came in. They said, we're not going to take money out. We're not going to put our own money in out of our pockets. Liverpool should be one of the richest clubs in the world. And if this FFP stuff is right, then we'll be able to spend more than anybody or as much as anybody else. That didn't really work out that way. And now they don't have that extra cash, basically, to put in. You know, they're putting in the infrastructure to make it all really sellable. I'm kind of disappointed that didn't go through the last time. But I'm 100% on board or agreed with Ciaran that their mentality is podium. Yeah. podium, gold, silver, bronze, fine, but we ain't going to spend to guarantee gold every year. I definitely so, but it's just show me the next guys who are, the next squeaky clean billionaire that we're not going to like. I don't want oil money. I don't know. Again, that's probably gone now. All the big clubs have been bought by the big countries. So I don't know, but I definitely think we'd have. I'd say potentially one more Champions League and probably one more league if we'd had that extra. Now this is going up against Man City. If we'd had that extra, say, call it 70 million a season, going in, getting another centre half when we needed one, getting another striker when we needed one, getting a bloody midfielder when we needed one. Yeah, I think you're talking at least two more titles, big titles, not trophies, not cups, proper titles. So, yeah, we left that on the table in the Klopp era. We left trophies on the table, 100%, 100%.
The only problem that I have when I think about that is that we was in that position, that we could have strengthened. Like for instance, we was in a position of power. So really and truly, right, is that they wouldn't have to have spent that much. That's what I'm trying to say. They wouldn't have to spend that much. Surely doing it this way, they have to spend more money because what they have to do in a day, they have to spend like at least 100 million. Because this is what it will take. They have to spend at least 100 million a day, right, in order for them to get back into the top four. In order for them to get back in the top four, still. So really and truly, if they sort of like said, right, do you know what I mean? Yeah. When we're in a position of power, do you know what I mean? I.e., when we won the Champions League, right?
Well, I'm sure Ciaran mentioned that, right? Earlier, what was it? We bought Sepp, and that was it, right?
Yeah, but
we won the Champions League, and we bought Sepp.
We got Sepp, and we got Adrian on the free, and we bought Harvey Elliott. When we bought Harvey Elliott, that we later on had to pay a couple of more million in the tribunal. Do you know what I mean? Because they kind of like, see, this is what I'm saying. That Michael Edwards, Michael Edwards is kind of like wheeling and dealing. Did not work out that time. Do you know what I mean? And it hasn't a few times because there's once or twice at the day that we have been brought up on tribunal because they say, "Oh, hang about, mate, you've mucked us off here." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But what I'm saying is that today it's just like, all right, when we won the Champions League at the day, right, we probably would have only had to spend like 60 million. Do you know what I mean? Like adding like you could have got two good players, for 30 million, right? You understand what I'm saying? So you do that, right? When we won the league now, right? You could probably spent another 60 million on two players at 30 million each. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, they were out there, but them not doing that, it's worked out worse for them in the long run. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know if you agree, Ciaran. Do you agree with that, Ciaran?
Hello? Yes, I do agree, mate. Yeah. Mate, we're doing things the hard way. Do you know what I mean? As you said, if we had been doing things the right way, the proper way the whole way along, we wouldn't even have to spend as much as we were now going to have to. Yeah. So, again, great businessmen, I don't know. Like that, they're leaving more questions for that title, to be honest with you.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like, you know what I mean? They've done it like, to me, they've done it like back to front when there was a much more easier way of doing this. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to say with FSG, isn't they? Yes, at the end of the day, I agree with you, Brian, right? It's the fact of the day, right? Well, I want to see who else is best out there. Do you know what I mean? Because it's true what you're saying. There's no point in saying, well, get rid of FSG and you don't know who you're going to get in next. Do you know what I mean? You could have another charlatan. Do you know what I mean?
Another Hicks and Gillette.
Yeah, exactly. And, what it is at the end of the day, sort of like, when you look at Hicks and Gillette, right, and then you look at FSG, to be honest, today there's a difference, but not much of a difference. You know what I mean? Because both of them at the day, right, their intentions are and was at the day is to make money out of Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? They know what Liverpool's a massive brand is to make money out of Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? However way they want to do it, right? To me, when I look at it, when I look at sort of like FSG, to me it looks like they're not really bothered about Liverpool. They're just bothered about making money, sort of like from Liverpool, sort of like. You understand what I'm saying? You know, any way
Yeah.
they can,
On
anyway.
on exit. On exit. For them, it's on exit. That's the only. Like, there's some guys say, like the Glazers out there, they want to take money out of Man United every single month, every year. They take their big money out. FSG aren't doing that. But what they are doing, yeah, they want to make money, but it's on exit. It's when they sell. That's when they make their big lump. So yeah, they're spending to improve. Like, basically, they're doing like the improvements to the house so that when they sell it, but they're doing the stuff that ups the value, ups the value. They're not buying the fancy paintings or the fancy flashy stuff. They're
Mm,
just buying stuff that means when they sell it, like the new stands, the new training ground, that makes it more like it was. They got it for 300, they can sell it for 3 billion.
mm,
That's what they want. At least they're not doing what the Glazers are doing and sucking money out every year. But I'm not here to defend these guys. Like, I want someone that can come in. And again, with FFP and PSR, this might not be as relevant. You can't have some guy and just come in throwing 300 million every season because he's rich. That's not going to be allowed anymore. But yeah, people who just kind of have, yeah, I don't know, that little bit of extra ambition. Yeah, I don't.
yeah,
I don't think it takes that much because we're not a third or fourth place team. We don't like. It doesn't take much for us to be. That's why they bought us, because they said it doesn't take much for that to be the biggest club in the world. Like, they were looking at, why do Manchester United make 10 times more commercially than Liverpool do? There's just as many Liverpool fans in the world. We were a million miles behind everybody. That's why we've been playing catch up. We all mocked Manchester United for having tractor partnerships and all that back in the 90s. That's where they were getting all their money from, and it took everyone else a long time to cop on to start commercializing their clubs. That's why we fell really far behind for a long time. So we got to up our game on that, and they got us back on track. But yeah, I think the time is right for them to sell, because it's probably worth as much as it's ever going to be worth to them. And if that's what their strategy is, then probably sell it now. I think, was that whole thing about them wanting to sell it, I don't know if that was real. By the time they officially put it up for sale, I think that was just trying to define a price for it, see what people are willing to pay for it. And yeah, I don't know, but Rod's, I'm not sure people really, if transfers just came in the door, people would stop caring about them, because like I said, back in the day, it was the squad and the manager, and that was what was important. Let the owners sit in the background and just give us good players, and we'll be happy. That's all fans
yeah,
want, is good players.
yeah, yeah.
At
No,
the end of
you're
the day,
right.
all we want.
No, you're right. You're right. Because the thing is about it, this is what I'm saying. In days, it's like we want to see them show some oomph and some ambition. Do you know what I mean? And we're not really seeing that. It's like you got people are saying that they go, well, Man City ain't buying, Real Madrid ain't buying at the moment, and this person ain't buying, that person ain't buying. I don't think so. Well, I don't care about them. I care about
Yeah,
Liverpool. So whatever they're doing, whatever they're doing or they're not doing, that's to them. I'm saying it today, sort of like we should be doing more. Do you know what I mean? Because one thing you don't want to do at the end of the day is get left behind. You don't want to get left behind. Do you know what I mean? And this is another thing I want to speak about, right? Um, Arnie Slot. Do you know what I mean? Now, personally, at the end of the day, right, people are saying at the day, yeah, you got to give him time and, trust the process and so on, so on. And I think to myself, well, look, at the end of the day, we've had a manager in sort of like for 9 years that, to be honest, today he's putting a lot of good structure into sort of like into the club, and he's literally sort of like had us sort of like completing at at a level and day that put fear into people, fear into teams. Do you know what I mean? Because we were feared. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. My disappointment is that they, why do you have to then go back to sort of like the post sort of like club era, like post before club come? Do you know what I mean? Why do you have to go back to them times there now? Do you know what I mean? Like giving this person time. When to be honest, today I've got nothing against the guy. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know the guy, but I feel at the day sort of like, you know, he's not experienced enough to take the helm of Liverpool. And the only reason at the day that he was brought in, yeah, is because he's cheap and cheerful. Do you understand me? Cheap and cheerful. You know what I mean? And he's going to do what he's told. That's the only reason he got brought in. And to me, I don't think that's good enough for the sort of like for Liverpool Football Club. So let me get your feelings on that, Ciaran. What are you saying, Ciaran?
No, I agree. I'll give the guy a chance because obviously, do you know what I mean? We haven't. That's one thing we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen a slot Liverpool. Although we did lose to Preston, which isn't a good look. But listen, we'll have to give it a try, don't we? But as of right now, what we're seeing right now, in terms of the backing and all, I think he's getting thrown under the bus. He will be thrown under the bus. Of course he will. He's cheap and cheerful, and if things go wrong, it's his fault, and it's never the owner's fault, is it? Because it's always someone else's fault. So that we've seen that. So I'm prepared to see that again. Unfortunately.
And no one has come in. Johnny Heitner. Johnny Heitner has come into the coaching staff. Johnny Heitner, you know.
West Ham,
Everton.
Yeah.
He wasn't even good there. Come on now, what are we doing here? Bro? What are we doing here? Somebody tell me what we're doing here. Come on now, man. Talk to me, guys. Tell me something that makes sense. Come on, tell me something.
I can't.
Well, I'll tell you something that makes sense. Time is relative. Time is relative. I said I'll give the guy time, and I mean it. I say back to it. What's the point in him never having, managed the game for the club and turning against all these people that were turning against him before he'd even come in the door? It's like, well, that's not very fucking helpful. That's really, is it? I mean, come on, like, let's be real. He might not succeed, but he definitely won't succeed if all the fans are booing him from the start. So yeah, look, you get behind him because that's what you do because you're a fan of the club, right? You get behind whoever is wearing the jersey. He's in the office, he's in the job, so you get behind him. And so you give him time. But like I say, time is relative. If we're bottom of the league at Christmas, he's gone. That's enough time to realize it isn't working. So, it's how long is it, it'll be judged pretty harshly and pretty quickly because he's gone and done what nobody really would have advised anybody to do is, taking over one of the biggest clubs in world football, which isn't really performing at its highest level. That's a hard enough one. The Liverpool job, one of the most emotional clubs on the planet, one of the most covered media-wise on the planet, one of the most talked about clubs. Yeah, good luck with that. Oh, and by the way, you just have to follow one of the most iconic managers in their living memory. Double good luck with that. So I think he's almost on a hiding to nothing. He'll do well to do well, if you know what I'm saying. I just think he's taken on so much because he's not Jurgen Klopp. He's not. Yeah, we get it. He's not Jurgen Klopp. Nobody's Jurgen Klopp. That's why you love Jurgen Klopp so much because he's unique. He's one of a kind. So yeah, he's not him. He can't try and be him. So he'd have to go big and win something and be. I don't know. I don't know, man. He's got a really hard job in his hands because every time something goes wrong, well, Klopp this, Klopp that, or whatever it might be, it's a really tough job. And I almost commend him for taking it. I'm sure he's been well paid for it. But it's like Moyes following Ferguson or whoever followed Wenger or whoever followed, whatever it might be. It's almost the impossible job. So, like I said, if he just finishes in the top three twice in his next 2 years, doesn't burn the place down, keeps us in the Champions League, and we bring in an Alonso, then maybe I can see that being the best case scenario on this one. I don't see him coming in knocking it out of the park, unfortunately. He's still an experience. Again, players, but sorry, just on our rods, players are going to look at it and go, well, Klopp's left. I don't know this slot guy. It's not like we've just brought in Ancelotti or we brought in Guardiola. It's like, be real. Like, players are going to look at it, well, that's not the guarantee it was. You know, it's definitely going to affect players looking at right. Well, I don't know. Maybe who's this lock guy? What's going to happen there? It's not brilliant. It's not
Do you know
brilliant.
some? Do you know something? I was just thinking, yeah, right. I'll put this question to both of you guys, yeah? Could it be a situation, right, that sort of like FSG are trying to be clever with us? Could it be at the end of the day they said, right, you know what? We know Alonso ain't gonna be ready for like a season. You know what I mean? He wants to do another season to see what he does, you know, at Leverkusen. Because personally, at the day, so like if he finishes like next season and they, you know, thereabouts, you know, what I mean, in the top three and everything that, I think that'd be good enough for him. He would think, yeah, man, you know what, I've done well, yeah, right. But could it be a situation that they say, well, look, let's get this Arnie slot in just for temporary, yeah, knowing at the day that we sort of like want Alonso, and then when Alonso comes available, like you know, in a year's time, we'll be all over it. We'll just jump on it. We just get this guy in, you know, just to fill the gap because we need a manager. Do you know what I mean? You know. So basically, what I'm trying to say, could it be a situation that Alonso was their first choice anyway? It was his first choice, and like Amron didn't really come into the equation because they want Alonso. So they thought, you know what, let's get this fella in for a season or so, right? Expecting that he ain't gonna do much, yeah. And then we just get Alonso next season. What's your thoughts on that, Ciaran?
I don't think so because the PR and everything behind this guy is high. Do you know what I mean? So it feels like there's too much. There's too much invested in him, except for money, obviously, of course. But in terms of PR and all, it seems like we're investing a lot in him, and we're trying to tell everyone he's going to do great for us. So I don't know. I don't know. I personally wouldn't say so, but if that does happen, then let's see. We'll have to see how he does first, don't we? We'll have to actually see how he does on the pitch.
That's true. That's true. Let's read out some of these comments there. I've got here. Ravi says Rodz and a couple of paddies on the show.
Easy now.
Easy. You know, I also thought he had the crew from Paddy Power, you know, on the show. Stop that. Ravi's a nutter, you know. He's a nutter. The thing is that not just a couple of top teams have money to spend like before. It's everyone in the Prem has a good amount of money to spend now. That is very true. That is true. Maybe because I remember at the day, like at one time, it's just like a few teams. There's a few teams at the day that you knew and they that could spend big. Because look at like what's happened now. Andre Nana has gone to Aston Villa for 50 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, so there are teams at the day in this Premiership and this is what I'm talking about: solidifying top four. There are teams that's in the top four now at the day, that want to solidify being in the top four because they know at the day that's where the money's at. You understand me, right? So they will do their best to stay in this top four. So if you drop out the top four, it's going to be very hard to get back in there again. Very hard. If Trent wants to go, he needs to be honest. Also, we can't hold a man captive if he wants to go. Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Well, Rodz, there's 20 teams in the Premiership, right? 20. 18 teams have spent money this summer. The only two teams you haven't is us and Fulham. So that's not like, come on, that's unacceptable in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I think this is my my fear is that Liverpool and they're going to rest on their laurels in the day, and when it does become time to spend money in order to do, for the team and such, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. Also, Trent might be thinking about when will he get an opportunity like that again? That is true.
I'll tell you what, Rods. If he look, you can't force a guy to leave. You can't force a guy to do anything. And if he says, "Yep, one more year at Liverpool and I walk," and if they want him, he'll get 400k a week on a free. On a free transfer, he'll be able to get a huge, almost maybe 30% extra on the wage.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's going to be one of the most in-demand players in world football next year on a free transfer. He will basically get a blank check from the likes of PSG. We even forget about what the Saudis had offer him. You know,
That's
so
what-
he'll be a one eye on that maybe, because we're going to have to offer him. People say, "Oh, we can give Trent 150, 180." I'm like, if we're signing Trent up to a new deal, I mean, it starts way higher than 150.
Oh yeah.
He's going to want close to what some of our top are. I think it may be 280. Anyway, that's by the by. But he knows his worth, and it's a free transfer.
And his
Yeah.
brothers and they are his managers, you know. His agents, sorry. His brothers are his agents. His two brothers. Apparently they're his agents. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and put this way, they've always acted in the best interest up to now. Do you know what I mean? So
No
yeah,
doubt.
no doubt. And the thing is about it is this, yeah, it's like, you know, if he doesn't sign a contract, this is what I'm saying about sort of like, you know, getting Trent tied down. Because if he doesn't sign a contract, yeah, right, then they should be looking to sell him. Just sell him, because he cannot go on a free. Do you know what I mean? He cannot go on a free. You should say, right, you want to go to Madrid? Right, you go in and we want 120 or 150 million. Do you know what I mean? You know, they have to get some sort of money. I'm sorry, it'd be trouble if they don't. If these guys are so-called big businessmen, why are they letting players run down their deals and leave for free? It does make sense. True. Ravi says, big up the Vaping crew. Ravi also says, like, question, who do you start in midfield and attack when we play smaller teams? I'll come to you first, Brian.
Would you start in midfield and attack with smaller teams away? Say, assuming we're going to be in a 3-4-3-3, I mean, the smaller teams away thing, I mean, I'm playing our strongest side every week in the league. Most times, I mean, the only tweaks I'd be making to anything up top, you know, we've learned in the past, we'll drop or rest a few players. When you go to a smaller team, you get your ass kicked. Like someone mentioned earlier on, everybody in the league has a lot of money to spend now. There's very few teams out there that are absolute mugs. Only the odd one that comes up from the championship. They've all got really serious players in one or two positions. Even the likes of Bournemouth and these kind of teams, they've got solid teams. So I wouldn't be overlooking that. I think the likes of maybe like a Carvalho, I don't really know. We've only got kind of top guys that I'd like to sell one or two of our forwards, to be honest, and then talk about it. But I'd like to see Gakpo starting most games from the left. I really don't know. Smaller, like our midfielders, they all get their games. Gravenberch is going to need more time. He didn't get much time. He got nothing at the Euros. Dropped out of it. So his future is one I'd be keeping an eye on, because he's someone who needs a home.
I also think Carvalho deserves a chance. You know what I mean? Play him in a 10. Play him in a 10 to see how he gets on. I think he deserves a chance, because I don't think he got a chance on the clock. Do you know what I mean? You know? Just don't think he got a chance. I know people saying, well, look, you know what? Then they, well, you know, you want to play the 10, and, you know, Klopp didn't play that kind of system, and he was this and he was that. I think so. Well, look, at the end of the day, you know what? It was stated to Klopp at the day of what sort of player he is. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he bought him. Yeah, Klopp bought the guy. It's not as if he found out, he unwrapped the box. It's like, oh, it's a number 10. I didn't want one of them.
You know what I mean? It's true. But like that's what I'm trying to say. It's either you play him at the 10 or you don't. Because I know how sort of like Klopp was thinking because what he done with Gini Ronaldo was similar. Like because Gini Ronaldo was more of an attacking player. You understand me?
Yeah.
And when he came to sort of like Liverpool, like Klopp completely changed his game and he became one of the best midfielders in Europe. Do you know what I mean?
He might have, did he even see Carvalho in a Firmino role, type false nine kind of thing. Even
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I think further forward is where Firmino for me they can do a lot. Not Firmino. Carvalho could do a lot of damage. Do you know what I mean? What's your thoughts on who we play for the smaller teams, Ciaran?
Well, I echo what Brian said there. We can't be looking over any team because if you look at how we lost the Premiership, it was Everton and Crystal Palace, wasn't it? And let's be honest, in the end, they made short work of us. Yeah, so absolutely. But I see what you said there, Rod. Right? You're saying about playing players here and there. See, to be honest, right? I understand Carvalho. He is a 10, right? Cool. But you hear fans nowadays, right? And they say, "Oh, he can play in the left side of you, but he can't play in the right side of you." Like that's nonsense. Like let's be honest. If you're good enough, you're good enough. If you can only play, put it this way, if there's a midfielder or a club, right, and they can play in the left side of the three, but they can't play in the right side, then they're no good. They're no good, are they? Because you're playing in the middle of the park for Liverpool Football Club. You trying to so you can play on the left, but you can't play on the right. Now get out of here, man. Listen, if you can't play where you're required to play as a midfield player, come on. What are we doing here? This is just nonsense.
Yeah, Ciaran, I do get you. I just think when it comes to players like Carvalho, right, they know at the end of the day they're more effective in a certain position.
Well, he's the exception, isn't he? I think number 10s and number 6s are the exception because obviously that's a different type of role. But if you're talking about a number 8, right, a right side and a left side, there's no real difference, is there?
No.
You're a number 8.
Yeah. No,
Do you know what I mean?
You're right.
It's the same with the centre back position. You can play left side, but you can't play right side. That's bollocks. Like a centre half, man. You've got two centre halves beside each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, listen. Number 6,
you like,
yeah. Do you know what, Ciaran? You sound like Roy Keane.
Ciaran,
you sound like Roy Keane. You sound like Roy Keane.
No, mate, listen. I see it every day on Twitter, bro. I go on. It's like, yeah, well, he needs to play on the left side. He can't play on the right side. It's like you're a centre half, man.
The only thing is like they'll have their I like to receive the ball on this side of, but yeah, like if you can't do 2 games at left centre half, it's I can only play here. Yeah, it's again, this guy. Oh yeah, he's a number 8, but he can only play here. It's like you said, if you're playing in the middle of the park for Liverpool, then you should be able to do most things. Like Klopp got hit with a statement like that, I think in the middle of last season, something about like, oh, can McAllister only play on this side or Sabazza only play on that side? He was like, look, you're overthinking it. When we're playing, when you're out on the pitch, the defender or the player defends the zone in front of him and attacks, or defends the zone behind him and attacks the zone in front of him. So wherever a player happens to be on a pitch in particular, they attack the space in front and they defend the space behind. There's no left or right. You play where you're playing. Yeah, so the idea that, he can only stand on this side of the pitch, he can't stand on that side of the pitch. It's totally, you got kids out to go, he's this, he's that. It's like, they're playing too much FIFA, man. They're playing, like, he only works in this position.
You only hear these things from, I'm being honest with you, you only hear these excuses for players who are no good. Like, you never hear anyone talk about Toni Kroos. You don't hear people talk about Toni Kroos like that, do you? You don't hear people say about Modric or who else, like Scholes or Gerrard. No one says that, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, they just get on with the game.
Yeah, because you know what, with Gerrard, if you take Gerrard played in the multiple positions in that squad. He first started off as a right back, then he got pushed into midfield, and then like under Benitez, he was playing as a 10. He's literally playing as a 10. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously when Brendan Rodgers come in, Brendan Rodgers pulled him back in the day to a DM, and that's when I think when I say players in the day, yes, they should be able to play in multiple positions at the day, but sometimes at the day, right, you put them in positions and they look less effective. Maybe because it's not their position, but they'll do it anyway. They do it anyway. Do you know what I mean? But they do tend to look less effective. It's like what's that guy's name? Dirk Kuyt. Remember Dirk Kuyt? He was a
Yeah.
striker. He's a striker in the day. Now going through the middle of the day, right? He was just like unbelievable. You know what I mean? Because he came from like Feyenoord. That's it. He came from Feyenoord and he scored the most goals at the day in that league for 2 seasons running or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, but when he come to Liverpool, he's playing through the middle as a striker. Then all of a sudden, Benitez is put him on the right. Now Dirk Kuyt's a player today. He's like he won't argue. He just do it. Do you know what I mean? That's something I respect about him. But what it was when he went on the right hand side of midfield, yeah, I played like a right winger, so he looked less effective. He couldn't get into the game. It's not that he didn't want to. He just couldn't get into the game because that wasn't really his position to be. But like, yes, if you're playing in the middle of the park, in the middle of the park, you should be able to play left, right. Do you know what I mean? And even like defensive or holding, something like you should be able to do like a multiple things in the day within midfield if you're playing in the middle of the park. Do you know what I mean?
We've seen McAllister do, didn't we? He played 6, 8, 10.
Yeah,
he's a quality footballer. That's what quality footballers do. It's the same with Jones. If you're being honest, Jones Jones doesn't score goals that often, right? And doesn't get a ton of assists. But what he does do, he controls the football in the middle of the park to a high level. And people underrate that because I feel like stats got to people's heads. Like football's football. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone needs to be getting 40 GA. It's just not football. It's not how it works, is it?
Yeah, but
the only thing I heard about Jones, sorry, Rodz, and you'll have heard this as well. And I don't go obviously to Anfield, but Jack from Anfield Road TV, he goes a lot, he knows a few people. He said the thing about Jones is like the thing people always say about him, and the thing he said watch him is he just took so long on the ball. It was he could do everything, but he just couldn't move. He wouldn't move the ball quick enough. He just took too much time on the ball every time.
Yeah,
and that can be coached up. But he said everything else about Jones. Touch, technique, everything, but it's just they'd be watching him in the crowd. They'd be like, pass it, and it's just another touch, and he just needs to get that out of his system. Just go ping, first time, second, 2 touch, then pass it, and that's how you open people up.
Yeah,
but he has everything else.
Don't overthink it. Just get it done. Listen, my thoughts on Jones at the day it's always been the same. Yeah. Like, even when he was getting slated, I always thought that Jones is a brilliant player. Ciaran can tell you today, I've always sung Jones's praise. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a great footballer. Do you know what I mean? But it's true what you're saying. You know what I mean? His one criticism is, and he holds on to the ball a bit too long. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, when you hold on to the ball a bit longer than you should do, people then work you out. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you know what I mean? But listen, I always thought he's a brilliant player. Another question we got here from Ravi. He says, question, with our people that identify our targets we want, why do we have to back down when Madrid are interested in the same player? I'll let you take that first, Ciaran. Ciaran there? Right, okay. He's popped up again.
I think the one thing I said about Lenny Yoro was that the second we talk to his agent, or it gets relayed from the player that he wants to join Real Madrid, then that's when you walk away. That's if it's a situation like he's there going, look, I might be interested, but I want to wait and see if Madrid, come in with a bid, then say no. If you ring someone, you either want to join Liverpool or you don't. Fine, we're not going to wait around and see what Madrid do. I don't know if we do back down. I just think we walk away. I'd reframe it as walking away rather than backing down, because then you end up doing what Man United do, and is paying like 55 million, close to 60 million for an 18-year-old kid that's got 1 year left on his contract, that knowing he didn't want to go anywhere but Madrid. It's okay. I don't want to be involved in those kind of deals, but I don't know. Sometimes if Madrid, if a player is their head is turned, it's like that's one of those clubs, man. If it's Madrid, Barcelona, you go, well, we're not going to wait around until the last week of the transfer window. And Madrid decide to pull the trigger on that guy, and he goes, yeah, sorry, Liverpool, I'm going to go there.
Mhm.
I just think it's sensible sometimes to go, just walk away from it, especially with this Euro guy. Man United just did what they have to do. They're spending all the money in the world to try and get back to where they were. I don't know if it would have been good business to do that on him. He's only he's an 18-year-old kid. I thought it'd be great to bring him in, but as far as I'm concerned, we have Jarl Kwanzaa, top quality 18-year-old centre half. So do we need another one of them at 60 million quid? Definitely not.
Yeah, yeah.
With Madrid, yeah, it sucks. It sucks when you're in for a player and you think you've got, and then they come along and it's like, oh, here we go. These guys with their Billy Big Bollocks attitude and all of that.
Mm.
Yeah, it really sucks when they come in. But yeah, I suppose there's always going to be a big dog in the room. And right now, Real Madrid are the big dog, I think. They're where everybody wants to be.
And to what I get to understand, with that whole situation with Real Madrid and Euro, is that Real Madrid backed away a bit because like they didn't like the asking price for the fella. So what Real Madrid did, they said, like, you know what we'll do, we'll wait and see, and obviously get them on a free, because that to be something that's the sort of like what they do. They're the king of that now. Really getting these players on a free. Look what they got. They just got one of the best players in the world at the day. Sort of like Mbappe in the day on a free. Do you know what I mean?
And got him to take a pay cut to go there.
Exactly. That's a massive coup.
It's what they're going to do with Trent, man. It's what they're going to do with Trent.
Exactly. They're gonna. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And they with this situation with Trent. Listen, Liverpool need to know what is going on. Do you know what I mean? Right? And say, look, at the end of the day, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you need to sign. If you don't sign anything that sign, right? We're gonna have to look to sell you now. And you may not get that Real Madrid move. You know what I mean? We will sell you to somewhere else. Whoever comes in for you, you're gonna get sold. We'll put you in that shop window and say, like, you know what, at the end of the day, he's for sale, right? And whoever comes in for you, do you know what I mean? So like at a good price in a day, yeah, we're gonna sell it, because they cannot afford to lose him on a free. They have to get some form of money. Come on, man. This is a guy at the end of the day, he's probably gonna be turning 25, yeah, soon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's won everything possible at the end of the day at this club. Apart from the Europa Cup, he hasn't won the Europa Cup, but you know what I mean. To be fair, then no disrespect, not a lot of people care about that. Do you know what I mean? You understand me? So
yeah, it won't be popular. It won't be popular, but you have to make it look like we offered him the sun, the moon, the stars, and he turned it down.
Yeah, you have to make yourself look good.
Yeah, you have to make it obvious, get it out in the press that we offered him 300 grand a week. And the whole lot, and he turned it down. It can't be that Liverpool didn't show enough love and didn't show enough effort to get me to sign.
Yeah.
So I had no choice. The club is going to have to come out and make sure that all the fans know that we offered him everything, and he walked away. It's like, we want you to stay. We're giving you everything. Because if it comes out that like, if he gets the story out that they only offered me 100 grand a week, for 3 years, I had to leave. No, they have to make sure that this story comes out, that we did everything possible. We offered him everything he wanted, and he walked away. So it's on Trent. It's not on FSG. It's not on Liverpool. because otherwise, like you said, if he walks away and going and so turns and said, "Oh, if they'd offered me the contract, I would have stayed." Forget about it, man. They won't ever be able to come back. You know, so it has to be all about him wanting to leave and not wanting to commit to us, and just come out and say it. I'm all for it, man. Trent, if Trent comes out tomorrow and says, I'm from Liverpool, love everything about it, but I've won everything. I only have one career. I've always wanted to play for Madrid as a kid. If I had the chance, after I'd won things with Liverpool, I've won a league, I've won blah blah blah. Thank you, I love you all, and I got massive respect to that. Massive respect. People just be more honest. Come out. People respect that if he just comes out and says that, and then he leaves. And that's it. But don't do it sneakily, or don't make it all about agents and behind the scenes and Fabrizio Romano nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you know
what it is though? I think FSG, they have to blame themselves in some sort of way of why it's happened this way, because really and truly, someone like Trent in the day, when he's in the last 2 years of his contract, should have been tied down. It should have been tied down. So, because like now, when you think about it now, today, it is damage control now. It is damage control, and they have to sort of like work out a coup at the day to sort of like say, right, do you know what I mean? What's going to make them look good? They have to work out something to say what's going to make
PR
them
job.
look good. PR job is damage control. It's literally damage control. Do you know what I mean? And all that, what is it with me? All that could have been avoided if we tied these guys down and today, in the last 2 years of their contract, say, look, you know what? We want to sign a contract. This is what we're offering you, and that, right? You know what I mean? If you don't like the offer, let's negotiate now. Let's get the negotiating started now. Show some intent. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes around to sort of like, these times now and the day when Real Madrid are sniffing around, because Real Madrid lately they seem to be able to sniff a bargain, right? So when it comes down to that now, you can say, well, look, you know what? In the day, if we want him, it's like 200 or 300 million plus. You know what? In the day, sort of like what some of them sort of like Spanish clubs do. They put their buyout clause, give these people a buyout clause of like, you know what I mean, stupid like 500 or 600 million, and Pedri was on like $1 billion buyout clause and all that. Do you know what I mean? So you have to protect your assets, as it were. Okay, right. We're gonna wrap up now. We're gonna wrap up in a minute. I think Brian's just gone to the door, but we're gonna wrap up. Okay. Ciaran.
Yeah, no, I'm back. Yeah. Cheers,
I'm gonna,
Ciaran. Nice one for that, Ciaran. Yeah, thanks, Roz. That was great crack, man. That was good.
Yeah. We'll do it again. We'll do it again next Monday. Do you know what I mean? If you're free, we'll do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Not all doom and gloom, but hopefully hopefully we wake up tomorrow and we've signed bloody Pedri or something. Who knows?
Yeah. That would be nice. That would be nice. He's Ciaran said, like, I'm having some connection issues, guys. Great topic. Big up Rodz and Brian. Good chatting to you. You great bunch of lads. Yeah, great. Ciaran's a guy I've known for a very, very long time, and he's such a lovely guy. Do you know what I mean? And he's rocking with me when I had like so little subscribers till now. Do you know what I mean? He's a lovely guy. But listen, as I said, if you're free next Monday, we'll do it all again. Do you know what I mean? And have a chat about stuff that's going with Liverpool. As you said, it wasn't all doom and gloom. There was some positive parts of the conversation. Guys, if you're going to watch this on a replay, please like and subscribe to the channel. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit me up in the comment section. Do you know what I mean? Tell me what you think of the show, okay? Hopefully I should be back tomorrow or Wednesday, one of the 2 days, but I will be back. Stay close to your socials and you will find out when I'm back. So, Brian, thanks for coming on, mate. Listen, I'll hit you again soon because I always like chatting to you, and we'll do it all again very, very soon, my friend. You know what I mean?
No problem.
Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
Yeah. Guys, Peace, love, and respect. Peace.